Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live episode of Some Good Booze. We do this show every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I am your host, Jonathan Pogash. I am the founder and owner of The Cocktail Guru. You're on Facebook Live and you're on YouTube Live. So thank you so very much for watching. This is great. You guys are awesome. I have a great cocktail to share with you today and a very special guest. But as we usually do, I ask you, here's a question for you, okay? What are you all drinking today? I'd love to know. What are you drinking right now, or what do you plan on drinking? You can comment. I can actually share your comment live on air. If you have any questions, definitely shoot me a note. But this is great. Okay, so some good positive news that I always love to start off the show with. And here we go, folks. So on this day in history, U.S. President John F. Kennedy proposed the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that would eventually legislate equal access to public facilities and segregation in education and guarantee federal voting rights for African Americans in 1963. JFK, obviously a huge proponent of civil rights, a wonderful, wonderful man, gone way too soon. And as we all know, there is tremendous work still to be done. And what I've been doing is I've actually been doing quite a bit of research on African-American mixologists and bartenders throughout history. And oftentimes that history has been forgotten. And I'm glad to bring back some cocktails that are some of these forgotten cocktails made by these extremely talented hospitality professionals. And today I have a cocktail, the JULEP A La Dabney, which was made by John Dabney back pre-Civil War and post-Civil War. But before I go ahead and make this cocktail, hey, everyone from Facebook, thank you so much for joining, and YouTube Live. Oh, if you haven't gone to the YouTube channel and click subscribe, please do that, and the Cocktail Guru Facebook page. Okay, so I have a very special guest. She's a good friend of mine joining us live from Atlanta. Oh, Henry says, hold on, let me get a beer. Good, okay, I'll hold on. Okay, just 1 second. I'll wait for you, Henry. No, I'm not going to wait for you. You could always pause, I guess, and watch later. But in any case, thanks for joining, Henry. So my good friend all the way from Atlanta, she is a Team Cocktail Guru member, and she is also known as the drinking coach. Let me introduce to you Tiffanie Barriere. Tiffanie.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
You know, today is one of the good days. I mean, surrounded by alcohol a lot, but we are making some progress. So today's a pretty good day.
Good. Yes. I wish you could see the selection of booze that I have here in my cocktail lab. It's really, I mean, there's no way in my lifetime that I would ever be able to drink all of this.
We'll have to have a party.
Yeah, we'll have a party when we can see each other in person. I miss you, and I miss hanging out, and I miss seeing you in person. But you know, this is the next best thing, right?
Yeah, this is the new norm, and I think I kind of like it. It's really nice to get in people's homes and check things out, but also just get everyone in their comfort zone, in their own place, have a cocktail, catch up. It's been a turn of time, but a neat time.
Exactly. So I have a cocktail to share, but I know that you have a cocktail to share, and you've been doing these little tidbits of African American history, people in food and hospitality. And I've really enjoyed them.
Thank you. It's hard to step away from food and beverage. I grew up in food and beverage from my grandparents all the way up. There's nothing like great meals and cocktails. And as I got older and got into this industry as a cocktail professional, I could not skate away from my own history, because a lot of cocktail history is on the shoulders of my culture. So it's been really exciting to share them. I always have shared them. Just right now seems to be a lot of more attention. So I'm really grateful. So thanks for having me to share some goodness.
Yeah, and yesterday I think it was, you shared some information on tea.
Yes. Being a Southern woman, there's tea in just about everything. A lot of punches were made with tea, just kind of stretch it out. We have a lot of land out here, and there's a lot of beautiful soil. So tea is just about everywhere. But the botanists that took care of it, our forefathers and ancestors, they did such a great job to make our porches taste better. So hibiscus tea is something that's near and dear to me, near and dear to the culture of African Americans. And unfortunately, during that awkward time of slavery, hibiscus tea was like a joy. That was like a celebration. It was Sunday tea. It's a beautiful color red. It represented the blood that was shed and also just royalty from Africa. So hibiscus tea everywhere. I try not to put it in every cocktail in the sugar to make it gorgeous.
Yeah, and I think you have a hibiscus cocktail to make, do you?
Yeah, you know, on subject of thinking about John Dabney, I mean, it's hard to skate away from that staple of the mint julep. The mint julep is so delicious, so refreshing, year-round. There's so many beautiful stories, whatever race or gender or area of America you're in. There's nothing like a great bourbon mint julep. But what if we added hibiscus tea to it? Like, why not? It doesn't make it feminine if it's red or pink, so it's okay, guys. Don't worry. It's okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of do it the way Mr. Dabney, John Cato, some of my forefather ancestors would make. They used very simple ingredients. I mean, there was the technique of the shake. There was simple syrup, but there was also just good old sugar. Powdered sugar, granulated sugar was great. So I'm just gonna put a couple of scoops in my glass of some white sugar. I've been asked if brown sugar is cool. Sugar your backs out. I don't mind, but white sugar does take on great ingredients a lot easier. Alrighty. I've got a garden down here. I've been picking in my garden, so I've got plenty of mint. And it was said that the black bartenders at that time would put large mints. The larger the mint was kind of a boast. You kind of showed off your brand rights of how well your ground was doing. So I'm just going to incorporate that mint right inside of the sugar. I'm not snacking it right now because I'm not there, so I can smell it so good. So good. Then I got my hibiscus tea. I've already steeped it. Hibiscus flower, I do a cold steep. You can do a hot steep. Just hibiscus flower in water. Let it be. The hibiscus flower bleeds very quickly. The longer it sits, the darker it gets.
Yeah.
Very the sweeter the juice, they say. I'm doing 2 ounces because I want 4 ounces because I want a nice tea cocktail.
Awesome.
Yes. And then we go for the ice. Jonathan, you know this. Refrigeration was not a thing back then. There were large pieces of ice here. So I'm just going to crack large ice inside the way my guys would have, my ladies would have.
Yeah. They had just sort of introduced ice, you know, not too long before then. Before then, for those who don't know, mixed drinks were served at room temperature or warm, and then once ice came about, then they would get delivered big blocks of ice. And you know, the bartenders of this era, you know, the John Dabney, they would get the blocks and they would shave the ice off of the block.
Yes, this one large block for a day and a half, maybe 2. Think about the South, 85, 90 degrees, no refrigeration. That means you have to drink faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Toss it in, some bourbon in there. Give it a nice stir. Let that sugar and the biscuits, ice and bourbon get to know each other. Oh, my porch is waiting on me right now. So yeah. And remember, the larger the garnish, the better. And so we put this large pieces of mint inside to 1, tickle our nose, to 2, show up how well our garden is doing. And out of my garden, I've got some fresh honeysuckle. Honeysuckle's pretty live out here.
Nice.
So we're going to throw some honeysuckle there. Definitely a nice garnish from back then in the South, from Virginia all the way down to Georgia. And there's my ode to my ancestors.
Wow, that is awesome. Thank you.
It's so delicious. You're welcome.
I'm going to go right into, how is it?
It's amazing. Oh. My porch is waiting on me, so I'm going to have to go sit on the porch and show off a little bit.
Next time I see you, next time we're hanging out in person, I would love to try one of those, please.
I'd love to make one for you, Jonathan. I love that.
I'm gonna make a drink for everyone right now. We're gonna do we're gonna add in another camera here so that you can see my hand. This is, they called it actually Pre-Civil War, they called it JULEP A La Dabney because this is the way that John Dabney, a very well-known Richmond, Virginia black bartender, used to make his juleps. And it had the crushed ice, it had embellished garnishes, it had tons of mint on top. He did not use whiskey. Instead, he used peach brandy. That's what the original recipe called for.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but I don't have, so folks, it's very different than what peach brandy might be today. This was not sweet. It was actual brandy made from peaches, kind of like Applejack or cognac. So I don't have peach brandy, but I do have apple brandy.
Wow.
So the recipe, I actually have the recipe right here. And this was the recipe that was based off of John Dabney. And this was actually a recipe written down by John Dabney's son, Wendell. Okay, so this is the actual recipe. So we've got 2 tablespoons of water down in our little tin. So they probably would have served it in sort of probably a copper tin. I don't have a footed one, but this is what I could find. And also superfine white sugar, pulverized or superfine white sugar. And I'm just going to eyeball about a teaspoon directly into there. Okay. And now for the mint. So some really nice looking mint that I have in my garden as well. And it's really going nuts right now. I'm going to take, I'd say a whole sprig. I will remove the leaves and place them right into the tin, just like that. These little guys do not want to come off of their stem. And, I'm going to give it a little bit of a help. I'm just going to kind of smack it a little bit and throw it right in there. And here's kind of a trick that they used to do back then. So they would just kind of stir the mint together, but they would also make sure that mint saw every single square inch of the surface on the inside. Okay, so they would really move that mint around with the water and the sugar, just like that. Okay, and now we will add a nice 3 ounces. 3 ounces of yellow apple. 3 ounces directly into the glass, and I'm very excited to try this one. We'll give this another little bit of a stir, get the mint and the water and the sugar mix them together. Here we go. So what we've done is what they called it was a julep base. So that was the mint and the sugar and the water, and then the addition of brandy. And again, if you don't have peach brandy, you can use cognac, you can use a dark rum even, and I'm using apple brandy. And here we go, some shaved ice, folks. Okay.
There you go.
Yes. So let's see how this will work. I'm going to use my hands, guys. Okay, that's okay. I don't want to make.
Jonathan. They have to be clean.
They're clean, of course. I wash them for seconds, don't worry. And we'll just add that right in. And really, the point was to add as much ice as you can to create this nice little dome on top. And we'll just kind of add a little bit more. Okay, that's good. And we'll give it a stir now. Oh, now this, I have a porch too, and this would be something to have on my porch.
There you go.
Additionally, so I'm actually going to add more crushed ice on top. And now for the embellished garnish, some fresh berries, also pineapple and flower blossoms were very common back then. So we'll add some fresh strawberries, some fresh blueberries, and of course, extra mint that I'll just wake up a little bit and add right in there. Oh, man. And then nice metal straw. Look at that.
That looks amazing. I'm toasting you.
Cheers. Cheers.
Yay. A lot of people know about Mr. Dabney. He's a great, great man. I got a chance to meet his great-grandson in Richmond a few years ago for a wonderful symposium where his great-grandson didn't even know what his great-great-grandfather had even done. And Mr. Dabney was a free slave, and he loved serving so much that he made a great place for stagecoaches and everyone to come by and enjoy not only his great cocktails, but the fantastic service that him and his family gave. So I'm so great that you know so much about John Dabney. There's so many other stories about great people of color who have served post and pre and post Civil War. So that means so much to me, Jonathan. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the history is fascinating. I love how he was also a caterer and he was a chef, you know, worked in the kitchen, and he eventually owned his own bar. I think they called it the Dabney Lounge.
Yes.
And he was really part of Richmond's high society.
Yes, he was. He was, and that carried on all the way to Washington, D.C. and other great cities where there were a small, you know, supper club for elite people of color who not only learned, you know, by serving, but carried that on so they could serve their own. So it's a fantastic comment.
Awesome. Well, on that note, Tiffany, thank you so very much for joining. This is great. I wish you all the best, and I hope you stay well, and I hope to see you very, very soon.
I hope so. Cheers, Jonathan. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you, everyone who watched, and I'll see you back live on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Cheers, everyone.